Have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? When we were trying to get this podcast off the ground, we had so many questions. How do we record an episode? Where do we find background music? How do we get our show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all the other places that people like to listen? And where do we find advertisers? The answer to every one of these questions is really simple. Anchor. Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, distributing, and monetizing your podcast. And best of all, it's 100% free and 100% ridiculously easy to use. Anchor makes it simple to get up and running. You can upload and schedule your podcasts ahead of time. It publishes to all the major podcast platforms. You can easily check your stats. I could go on, but instead, why don't you go and get started? Go to anchor.fm/start to join the e-commerce minute and a diverse community of podcasters already using Anchor. That's anchor.fm/start. We can't wait to hear your podcast.
It's the E-commerce Minute, your daily dose of e-commerce, tech, and retail news with your hosts, Bart Mraz and John Suter. The E-commerce Minute is a production of Sumo Heavy, a digital commerce consulting firm in Brooklyn, New York, and Philadelphia. Find us on the web at sumoheavy.com. It's E-commerce Minute, episode 340.
In today's episode, Brandless has a retention problem.
Brandless is the $3 grocery and consumer products website launched in 2017. Their goal was to create the next great consumer packaged goods brand and disrupt the $760 billion industry by offering low-cost, high-quality home products and non-perishable foods. But so far, the company isn't feeling the love. According to a report by Recode, Brandless has yet to catch on as a consumer habit. Just 20% of shoppers who placed an order on the site in the fourth quarter of 2017 placed another order a quarter later, according to data from Edison Trends. If anything, it's not the products. The company sells over 350 better-for-you products, everything from coconut oil to vegan peanut butter to writing supplies and journals, all for the incredible price of $3 per item. They've courted the younger buyer who believe in their mission, which they advertise as deeply rooted in quality, transparency, and community-driven values. However, since the launch, Brandless has had to face a growing set of competitors in the hipster generic space, like Amazon Basics, Walmart's Jet.com of Uniquely J, and the recently launched Target Smartly brand. Brandless also suffers from a limited set of offerings, unlike its competitors. At Target.com, you might buy the $2 Smartly hand soap, but you also might put a Bluetooth speaker or a TV in your cart. Brandless's competitors carry over 100,000 products, and Amazon sells millions. It's hard to compete at that scale simply by virtue of having a low price point. Retention is critical for companies like Brandless because it trades in low-cost goods that need to be repurchased frequently. Low retention numbers mean those customers aren't coming back. Come on, Brandless.
Well, it's got. I guess they didn't call you because you love that place.
I love Brandless.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. You also got to remember that as Brandless, I mean, we know about it because we report on this kind of stuff, but also we look at and use this. You know, we kind of play in the startup world for a while, so we see it. We see these kind of things, but if they're not known in the world, like, you know, perfect example. Ask anybody like outside of our world, ask anybody. Forget Brandless. Ask them what a name of any of the what's called food delivery, you know, the pre-done box delivery is.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Nobody really knows. They might know Blue Apron, but maybe.
These kind of companies target a younger demographic. So my mother is never going to order from Brandless. My neighbor is never going to order from Brandless. And again,
which is totally fine, but I think the consumer side of it, right? If you want to progress and you want to do that, like if you're a younger person and orders from Brandless and you're like, this stuff, whatever, you go for convenience, right? And then Brandless just goes out the window.
Yeah. And there was one comment that I saw, the Brandless is in the tough position of not being niche enough, but also not being big enough. In comparison, when you look at, their main competitor would be Amazon Basics. Amazon Basics has 1,000 products. Brandless only has 350. So they're competing against that. Right. And my point about the cart, I think that's the thing that's hurting them the most, because when you're doing your shopping, if you look at average cart volume, it's hard to, at $3 a pop, it's hard to get a $40 cart going. Yeah, their average cart volume is average cart size is $34. Thrive Market has a $75 average, and Amazon's cart average is about $37 for these types of products. But the problem is that the customers don't come back. They flit around and they haven't yet made it a habit. And again, it's the Amazon battle where I'm going to go shop for some things. Let me just go search online, and I'm going to search on Amazon first before I go search anywhere else.
Exactly. And Brandless has to, as much as it's brandless, you still got to put it out there and get it branded, and nobody knows about you. We know.
It's funny. It's like their whole mission was we were avoiding the brand tax, but if no one knows about you. So they are planning a TV campaign. They have some big money behind them. I mean, they have investments. They got $240 million from SoftBank's Vision Fund. So the company's valued at $500 million. So it's not like they're going away, but that's a big investment for a consumer-faced company like that. So it's a little risky for SoftBank, but they seem to believe in the company. And they're doing pop-ups. They're doing some marketing. They're doing a TV ad, which I think they really need that. I think they really need to do some advertising, as you said, because people are just not aware of the brand, and it's actually kind of a shame.
It is, because it's a good product and definitely fun to use.
And there's another comparison that I saw, which we keep seeing now, that there's the bricks and clicks, and everyone seems to be migrating back to the bricks and mortar. Like, we have a website, but also come to our store. And I think Brandless could benefit from that, doing more pop-ups, more things like that. And again, I know it's kind of like, it's kind of oxymoron. It's like, we're the anti-brand, but come see our pop-up. But I think that's what they're going to need to get more people to come and be more aware of them and make Brandless a habit, because their stuff's great. It's not, it's not like dollar store junk. It's high quality goods. It's non-GMO. It's a lot of stuff's vegan. I mean, it's definitely a niche category, but the stuff's quality. It's not, it's not dollar store junk.
Right. They just took out the brand tax, right?
Yeah, they took out the brand tax, and I think maybe it's the ads. Maybe the ads just need to be more of an educational thing. Like, here's why it's $3. Not it's $3 because it's a tiny little sample, or it's $3 because it's junk. It's $3 because we're not paying, an advertising agency. We're not paying, anybody to we're not paying to run a brandless blimp.
Or they could. That'd be really funny.
Brandless blimp. All right. So we'll keep an eye on Brandless because we're a big fan. If you want show notes for the e-commerce minute podcast, go to ecommerceminute.co. That's your e-commerce minute for today. We'll see you on the internet tomorrow. That's it for today's show. If you like the show, do us a favor and subscribe, or leave us a review on iTunes. And don't forget, you can now listen to the e-commerce minute on your Amazon device. Just add e-commerce minute to your flash briefing. And finally, if you have a comment or suggestion, or just want to say hi, find us on social media @Sumo Heavy.